My name is Kylie Knott. I was born in Australia, but for most of the past 20 years I have been living in Hong Kong, where I'm a journalist with the South China Morning Post newspaper. That's a good question. I'm happy to report that I don't have a typical day. The only constants are that I rise super early, around 4:30 a.m. Yes, I'm a morning person. I have my coffee, I walk the dog, and then I'll be sitting here at my desk or grab my laptop, where I will either be looking out for stories. I have to come up with my own story ideas, so I'm constantly, tuned into what's going on so I can come up with some ideas. If I'm not looking out for stories, I'm writing stories, or if I'm not writing stories, I'm researching stories. And because I cover so many different topics from health, environment, animal welfare, food, fashion, I'm having to do lots of different research, and also I'm learning a lot every day, which actually is a bonus. And other days I might be out interviewing people, which also allows me to take photos. Other days I might be working with the video team on stories, but guarantee not one day will be the same as the next day, and I sort of like it that way. As for the best part, I suppose it's having a platform to allow me to write my stories that I'm very passionate about. I have a lot of freedom to pursue stories that I'm interested in, and that's majority of them are about the environment, animal welfare, human interest stories. So I think being able to have a platform that lets me get that message out is a great part of my job, and it's very rewarding when you do something that has positive impact. I think I've always loved storytelling. I remember when I was about 8, I wrote a book on my dog, which was something like 80 pages, which I don't know how that happened. But I also love hearing other people's stories. I really think we learn a lot from listening to other people. I've always loved current affairs, so I suppose combining those elements, journalism was a natural path to go down. Wow, I think there are so many key moments because I take away so many positive things from each story. I'm not just from learning, but just from hearing other people and meeting other people. It's a great way to really get a good grasp of what's going on in a city in your backyard. I've had some great glamorous moments where I've travelled to the south of France to visit wineries and gone on safari in southern Africa and luxury hotels in Bali and Bangkok. But I have to admit that it's the stories that I've written that have had positive impact that really are key moments for me. One story led to auction houses here in Hong Kong stopping all sales of items containing rhino horn. That made me feel good. Stories that make you feel good really are key. One recently about dog shelters and animal shelters in Hong Kong struggling during the pandemic. That story ended up raising a lot of funds for these shelters so they could continue to operate. So that was rewarding. Raising awareness about elderly issues, about youth issues, raising awareness about mental health issues. When you have a positive impact and there's some change that comes about, that's when you really love your job. It doesn't happen very often when you change maybe a healthcare policy or an environment policy, but when it does happen, it's very rewarding. And I would encourage all young girls and boys to follow a career that really gives you that satisfaction. I think I've been very fortunate that I didn't have family or parents that pushed me down a particular path. I was always allowed to follow my dream and pursue my passion. I think a lot of people may be tempted to pursue a career that was dazzled by the big dollar signs, but I think it's important obviously to have financial independence and security, but I also think that it's very important to have a job that you're going to get some satisfaction out of, because that's equally as rewarding as a big paycheck at the end of the month. So I would encourage all young people out there to follow your dreams and don't let anyone tell you no.